Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbe with Believe in the Run.
And we're getting maxed out, Robbe. Holding right now the Hyperion Max. Is this the 2?
2.
Yeah. Off the bat, Robbe. Best looking Brooks ever?
I think that's fair to say. I think it's definitely my favorite Brooks design I've ever seen That's it. I love the colors, the design, the bold branding on the inside of the shoe. I mean, it's like NASCAR style, throwback Skechers style.
Or Nitro from Puma style.
Yeah. But remember when everyone was bashing Skechers in the beginning?
Well, that was because they put speed on it. This says
I still
Brooks.
think the Skechers looked cool, and they broke the mold so everybody could do it.
There you go.
All right. So this is a double jacquard mesh upper.
Double jacquard.
I mean, that's just
2 jacquards.
It just sounds nice.
Yeah.
And
Make it so.
Here it is. It is nice.
This and the Elite, 2 of the best uppers this year.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the uppers are great on these Brooks shoes. We'll talk about the midsole when we get down there, but why don't we talk a little bit of details here. You've got this tongue that's a little bit interesting. It's like a knit tongue. It's got a little stretch to it. It's got the saddle. It's got the gusset. I mean,
yeah,
it's nice.
The flat knit lies perfectly around the foot, wraps it just beautifully. The upper itself, very breathable, comfortable, fits honestly perfect. This is probably my favorite upper that I can recall at the moment, at least. Like this year, for sure.
Well, the interesting thing is it fit me well, it fit you well, and I know it fit Megan well. Mm-hmm. So whatever they did here, it works for a bunch of different foot shapes.
Yep.
And I like that it looks like a traditional race shoe. Like it's got that, point. It looks fast. The shoe looks sitting still. You're like, oh, that looks fast. When you see it on people's feet, you're like, oh, that guy's going to run fast, or that girl's going to run fast. And it has that traditional running look.
Yeah.
It also has Robbie's favorite laces.
The sawtooth laces can't be beat, and I'm glad they went with those. More people need to do it. And yeah, the lacing, lockdown, everything is great. I want to point out one other thing, which I didn't really notice until closer inspection, but there's actually a bunch of slits cut out in the tongue, so you can really...
When you pull it apart, here you go.
So you can really customize your lacing if you wanted to lock it down even further with it. I honestly don't think they're necessary.
Is that what that's for? Or would you just... Is that to for stretch?
I'm pretty positive that's what it's for, because if you look, they're on equal parts, both sides. You can go...
Lines up.
Look, from here to here. From there, line up through there.
Yeah, I see that.
So you could get that extra lockdown if you needed to.
I thought maybe it was for breathability, but maybe Robbie's right.
It could be both.
Padded heel collar, even this back area. Some people are, these elf heels are kind of like, some people like them, some people don't. I think it's great. It turns away from the Achilles and opens up, so I don't have an issue with it.
All right, let's get on to the midsole, which... we might have some differing thoughts, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, it's more like preferences.
Yeah. So this is the DNA Flash V2 midsole. For those who are unfamiliar, DNA Flash is a supercritical foam, nitrogen infused, that Brooks has used in, I would say, mixed results over the past few years. There's been pretty good versions of it, like in the Hyperion or even the Caldera, the trail shoes, the Catamount. But then there's just been, it just falls flat in other shoes. The Hyperion Elite.
What's strange to me, and we'll get into it, but the Hyperion Elite is your race day shoe. It doesn't feel a lot different than this shoe.
I actually haven't tried the newest version of the Hyperion Elite, so can't comment on that, but I will take your word for it. First off, stack height on this shoe is 36 in the heel, 30 in the forefoot. They actually added 6 millimeters in the forefoot and 4 in the heel in this version over last year's Hyperion Max. So yeah, a lot more stack height. You like more forefoot cushioning.
I do. And you know what? Walking around in this, when I first tried it on, I was like, oh, this is going to be really nice, because I felt like that squish and that kind of rebound that I like to feel in a shoe, that I'm like, okay, when I get out there, I'm going to get that springiness from the shoe. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that actually happened. But then before we get there, you got to talk about, hey, I've been telling Brooks I'd love to see some Pebax in their shoes. I think they got close, but didn't quite understand what I was talking about.
You need to be more specific.
Yeah, so we've got a Pebax plate in here. You can see it. What do they call it, Robbie?
The Speed Vault plate. And this is the first time we've seen it in anything that's not a race day shoe, I believe. Because the last year's version of the Hyperion Max did not have a plate.
All right, so when I get into the midsole, and like I said, when I tried it on and standing around, I was like, oh, this feels good. It feels like it'll have that bounce. I don't think it needs the plate. I liked the Max last year without the plate. It felt a little more flexible, maybe a little more bouncy. I understand why they may have put it in this one to compete with shoes like the Endorphin Speed from Saucony, or even like to differentiate between the Hyperion and the Hyperion Max. So they put in this plate, but what I think it does is the stiffening of the plate stiffens up the whole feel of the shoe for me. I'm probably in the minority. All our reviewers really love the ride of the shoe. For me, I felt like it was just a little bit on the firm side coming through, and I would get that heat on the front of my foot from that kind of like compliant feel.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is on the firmer side. I'm not going to debate that. What I do love about this is that it really, like, it's fine for easier runs. I wouldn't choose this as my daily trainer. It can work, but I think it really felt alive when you pick up the pace, and it seemed to shift effortlessly. I think some of those other shoes for me, even the newest versions of the Endorphin Speed or even the Super Blast, I feel like it takes a little bit of like effort to get it up to speed. But this, I feel, just shifts right into the next gear. And then when you have it there, it's just, it has this rapid roll technology that I feel like keeps the stride going, real smooth, real nice. And then you get that nice toe off and transition and just kind of that firmer feel. I like it because it just feels like you can lock in. But I don't know. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, during the run, I didn't mind it so much. I did do a longer run in it where I started to feel a little fatigue in the front of my foot from the firmness. Where I would agree it came alive when I was doing strides and stuff like that. That's when you kind of got up on your toes and you felt like kind of, I'd say that brought out the best in the shoe.
Yeah.
The problem was that after I finished runs with this shoe, and this doesn't happen too often, my legs felt a little beat up.
I will say I took this on a few like 6-mile runs, and then I did like an 8-mile workout in it. So I'm not gonna lie, I haven't taken it to say 12 miles or 14 miles. I think that it could hold up to that, but I also see like how maybe, it's not gonna give you that same comfort level as you're talking about in other shoes.
Yeah, well, I guess I feel a little spoiled now because a lot of the shoes can go from an easy pace to a fast pace, and you can do it with a lot of cushioning. Maybe with all the high stack shoes and the max cushion, maybe I've gotten a little soft when it comes to what I like under the foot.
I think we all have, so it's there's no shame in that. For Brooks, this is an exceptional shoe. I think we like the Ghost Max, and by the way, side tangent. Let's talk about the Max.
I think at this point, it's like there's certain vocabulary that comes into running. So for example, if I say super trainer, what am I talking about?
A plated shoe with like a premium foam in it. Maybe not always plated, but it has that.
It has the race day foam, the race day components. It may not be a race day shoe, but it has all those spots. If I say Max to you, what am I normally referring to?
I would think a shoe that's like at least 40 millimeters of stack height or very close to that. And we're talking like soft, like comfort, like something that's like almost
like a New Balance More V5.
Yeah,
that's an example of a Max cushion shoe. And I think that the modifier there is cushion, but now when we hear Max, we think soft and big and fluffy. And this shoe is the Max. I don't know why, but it's not a Max cushion shoe at all.
Yeah, and it's the Max version of the Hyperion, which, like, I get it.
A Hyperion Plus.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking. I was like, if they should call this anything, it should be the Plus. Because the Ghost Max actually is a Max cushion shoe, and which, by the way, also a great shoe. If you're looking for that comfort, you're looking for that kind of long run, easy day recovery, whatever shoe, then the Ghost Max, that's your option.
So I think that throws people off. This is not what I would consider a Max cushion shoe. It is a shoe that is an up-tempo trainer. And I think it's a little more aggressive than, say, the Endorphin Speed, a little more aggressive than some of the other ones. I would say it's comparable to, say, the Boston 12 and its firmness.
Yeah.
And it's tough for me because I love the Boston 12, but there's something that I get a little bounce off that forefoot that I'm missing from this one. You clearly love this shoe and it works for you. I think it just comes down to like a nuance.
Yeah, that's fair. I did want to mention the outsole rubber, which, like, pretty generous layer of rubber here. I mean, that's not going to go away anytime soon, especially for a faster shoe. Now, the shoe does weigh a little more than some of the tempo shoes out there, or speed shoes. It is more in that daily trainer range. For your size 10.5, it was 9.9 ounces, 280 grams. So, yeah, I mean, it's right there with a lot of the daily trainers.
Yeah.
I think one of the hangups we have with the last year's version of those two shoes is that they're so close together that what was the point of having both of them? And I'm not sure that answer, we've totally answered that with this version, but I do think having that plate, a little bit of extra stack height, some more on the forefoot, I think it helps separate it from the normal Hyperion.
I would agree.
So if you are looking for that little bit of extra cushion underneath, but still a firmer feel, more up-tempo, but in a daily trainer range, whereas the Hyperion is more that strict like speed shoe, then I think you'll like this.
Price, I think.
Well, oh, we didn't say that either.
What is the price?
180.
180. It's right in there with what you expect from a plated daily trainer with, you know, a more premium foam. So it's not like totally out of line. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm green all around. I think this is finally DNA Flash has found its place. Like, this is the best use case for DNA Flash. It doesn't really work in the Hyperion Elite. It's fine in some other shoes. This is the best version of it in a shoe.
All right, for me, it's a light green to yellow.
Like a Sprite style.
Yeah, just a Sprite.
Lemon lime.
It's just a little bit, and this comes down to personal preference. I just want something with a little more bounce in that forefoot. If this was just a tiny bit softer, it would be a really strong green for me because the fit is great, the look is great. I mean, everything else is really good. It's a personal preference. I'd like it a little softer.
Cool. Thanks for watching. As always, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to our channel. We're almost at 100K. We need that play button.
Yeah.
Help us get there.
Like somebody told me, they're like, well, it takes a few months to get the button. I'm like,
yeah, I didn't think they were gonna overnight it.
Yeah. Oh, you hit 100. Here it goes.
Anyways, yeah, make sure you listen to our podcast, The Drop and Fuel for the Soul. I don't know, everything else. Sign up for our email list. You get weekly email with all our shoe reviews in one place. And I write a little note for you.
A really nice note where, I mean, I think it should be a feature on our website.
All right, we'll figure it out. Oh, yeah, we'll get it.
All right, and definitely check out BelieveInTheRun.com.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's right there with a lot of the daily trainers.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
What do you want me to? Yeah.
I thought you were going to pick it up. That's all right.
I wasn't going to let you roll. People always say I cut you off.
I was going to talk about